Good afternoon. Welcome to the Sites 10.1 platform update section, where I'm going to run through our support lifecycle, some recent platform updates, and any deprecations and drop functionality that we have. So first up, our support lifecycle. So the Sites 10.1 release, as you can see, will be another LTS release. So that means it will have a 3-year full support policy. And if there is the option for extended support as a paid option for customers that need that. So that will take us to the end of 2027 on this release at least. You'll see that Sites 9.5 has also now dropped out of limited support as well. And Sites 9.6 will very shortly be coming out of full support. So any customers of yours that are still running on 9.6 or earlier, we would recommend you to move to these latest offerings. In terms of upgrade paths, we're supporting our regular upgrade process from Sites 9.6 and Sites 10.0 to Sites 10.1. And we also support the rolling or the CM first upgrade also from Sites 9.6 and Sites 10.0 to Sites 10.1. So that means you can upgrade your CM and then update the DXD platform subsequently. On the Veracode security platform that we use, we continue to provide our own RWS Stage 1 security policy, which means we have checks against our static analysis and our software composition analysis, and we do independent penetration testing using AppCheck, which is a separate product. Now to the platform updates themselves. So on the sort of back-end service pieces, the changes we've made in this release were support for Amazon RDS for SQL Server 2022, and we dropped support for 2019. We still support on-premise Microsoft SQL Server 2019, however. We haven't changed the Oracle database platform support in this release due to the lack of availability of the appropriate artifacts from Oracle of 21. So we're still supporting 19C at the moment. Our OpenSearch platform updates haven't changed, so we continue to support the latest on the 2.x line of OpenSearch for our on-premise OpenSearch instance. We have updated Apache Solr on the CM side now, and that's a packaged Solr instance. So we're now using the current latest Solr of 9.7 on that side. And then back on the CD side, using our Apache Ignite, which we use for caching, we've updated to the latest Apache Ignite backend of 2.16, and we'll drop support for 2.15. On the operating systems, we have our usual platform support for Windows 10 and 11, Windows Server 2019 and 2022, and we've deprecated support for Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8 and maintaining Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9 support on the CD side. Now, in terms of the virtual machines on the back end, this is just an overview of the life cycle of the various JVMs and virtual machines that we use. So obviously .NET Framework 4.8, which is attached to the Windows operating system itself, that continues to have support for several years. So Windows 2022 currently has support for that along until October 2031. But then on the .NET Core, you'll see we've dropped support for .NET 6 in this release, and we've moved to .NET 8 because obviously we're now within the time frame for their support. And similarly on the Java side, we've moved from Oracle Java 17 to Oracle Java 21 LTS to make sure that we're within the appropriate support timelines for those components. So this is a summary again of what we've just seen. Also included on this page shows the support for our browsers on the CM side. So we have the support for the latest of the standard kind of common browsers that we support across those platforms. Then on the application server side, we continue to support IIS 10.0 for CM and CD. But you've noticed we have dropped support for Apache Tomcat 8 and 9, and that's due to the changes we've made with the Jakarta namespace changes that I'll talk about in a minute. So we had to move Apache Tomcat 10, and that's also true on CM actually. And similarly for WebSphere, these don't support the relevant JDK that we wish, which is Java 21 at the moment. So for the customers still using WebSphere 8 or 9, they can continue to use our CIL artifacts from the previous releases where there is still support. And they will talk to our DXD services running on Java 21. So we haven't included support for the latest JBoss, which supports Java 21, and similar situation for Oracle WebLogic actually, as there is for WebSphere. So if you wish to use WebLogic Server on those two releases, you'll need to use earlier versions of our supported CIL libraries. So I mentioned the Jakarta namespace change. So we did a number of changes in order to support Java 21. The Jakarta namespace change does require lots of changes to any code that's being compiled against our applications, and obviously all the third-party libraries that entails. So that includes Spring 6 and Hibernate 6 in particular on the Java side. So for any customers that do have custom deployer extensions or content service extensions, they will need to rebuild their applications using our latest artifacts and using the relevant versions of both the Jakarta namespace Spring 6. Finally, on the deprecations, you can see a history of previous deprecations since 9.6 on this, well, since 9.0 on this list, actually. The two that we've added in Sites 10.1 are Experience Manager and support for SAML identity provider within access management. And then finally, there's only one dropped item of functionality in this particular Sites 10.1 release, and that was we used to include what was called the graphical embedded client that some devs would use for testing out GraphQL queries against the content service. We've removed this for two reasons in this release, primarily for security reasons, and that it was a security risk having these third-party libraries, but also that the version of the graphical library isn't currently supported using the new GraphQL libraries that we have that we needed to use for the JavaX namespace support. So for customers that need to talk to the GraphQL endpoint, I would recommend using one of the many open source or free or semi-paid offerings instead. And that's it for the platform updates. There will be a questions Q&A session a little bit later for any questions you may have on this. Thanks again.